Ford reporting sales growth of over 11% in the month of May, driven by a nearly 65% boost in hybrid sales from a year ago. But with overall electric vehicle sales raising concerns about a possible slowdown, what does this mean for the auto giants moving forward? Yahoo Finance's Pras Subramanian is standing by live and living color at Deutsche Bank's Global Auto Industry Conference with Ford Vice Chair John Lawler for more. Hey, Pras.
Hey, thanks, Brad. Yeah, we are here at the Deutsche Bank Global Autos Conference, and John Lawler, new Ford Vice Chair here. Congratulations on the new role.
Thank you.
So I know you're going to be presenting soon here. Give us some updates on what you're going to be talking about here. What are some of the new projections potentially for Ford right now going into 2024?
Well, we had a good start to the year with Q1, and we'll be talking about where we're headed with the business. You know, Ford Plus strategy is really about focusing in our customers and their needs. And you start to see that really come through in the segmentation we did, in that Ford Pro customers are distinct from Ford Blue customers, which are distinct from our electric vehicle customers, and how we're progressing our strategies in each of those spaces, how we're providing them value, choice, and we're moving the business forward.
You know, you guys had May sales recently, very strong month, both not just traditional ICE vehicles, but also hybrid and EV. Let's talk about hybrids. Did you guys envision that? You know, a year ago, we were talking to you guys at the Delivering Ford Plus conference. EVs are the big push. But look at hybrid sales. How do you explain that?
Yeah, so when you think about hybrids with Ford, we've been in hybrids for over 20 years. We're number 3 in the US in hybrids right now. Now, our hybrid sales grew 40%. They're going to grow 40% this year. You can't just turn that on with a switch. So all the narrative and hype had been around EVs, but we never walked away from hybrids. We always had those in their cycle plan. They were always funded. And you're seeing that now as the demand's increased. We have the capacity to provide for consumers, and you're seeing that take place. So we're really pleased about our choice that we have for customers across gas, hybrid, as well as electric vehicles.
I think the Maverick in particular has been sort of a focal point here with the compact sort of a pickup, but then also being provided with hybrid power, which I think was interesting when it came out. Pivoting to EVs now. So we're also seeing, you know, we've seen the EV sort of demand story kind of slow down a bit, but EV sales, in particular for Ford, quite strong still. What's your kind of take on that, and how do you kind of bridge the gap to when those vehicles are profitable?
Right. So the way we think about EVs, it's not a matter of if, it's when and how fast. And so we did see a slowdown relative to what people expected. But I think there was a false signal coming out of COVID is how quick the demand was going to grow. And that was because the early adopters, they were really excited about having the choice of vehicles, electric vehicles. Then when you get to the early majority, they're not willing to put up with some of the other issues that you might have with an EV around range, et cetera, like those types of things. So choice is important. And it's coming through where you have hybrids, where you have plug-in hybrids. Other technologies are coming along as well that I think will help that transition. So I think you're going to see the growth continue. It's going to be a little bit slower than what we've seen in the past. Now, of course, for us, getting to profitability is key. With our segmentation, you can see exactly how we're performing in the EV space, and we have plans to improve that. Primarily with our second generation of vehicles, where we'll see step function changes in cost and performance of the vehicles. And that's where we think we'll really start to gain traction from a business standpoint for our electric vehicles.
So really profitability may come in those second gen software defined type of EVs, right?
Exactly. So the second gen vehicles, not only will the software capability of those be, so they'll be connected digital devices, but as well as the cost structure of those vehicles is going to improve dramatically through battery technologies, efficiency of design, et cetera. Because our first generation vehicles, to get to market quick, we converted gas vehicles into electric vehicles. These are ground up platforms designed specifically to be EVs.
So, you know, you mentioned, let's pivot back to sort of the guidance here. You're talking about how 2024 is shaping up, strong sales so far. You kind of still see that $10 to $12 billion adjusted EBITDA kind of guidance, that target there?
So when we came out of first quarter, we had guided that we would be at the high end of that range. And so, you know, that's where our guidance sits right now. Yeah.
I want to talk about your new role as vice chair. You know, I've known you as CFO, grinding those numbers, but now it's more about sort of the strategic part of the business and how you kind of leverage relationships. I know you used to work in Europe and Asia, and you're going to kind of go back to those roots, right? What's the new role going to entail, and how do you kind of make Ford more efficient from that point of view?
Right. So it's really around strategic initiatives. The level of change in this industry is unprecedented right now. You have the propulsion changes, moving from gas to electrification. And electrification is going to take many forms as we're starting to see develop. You also then have the digital technologies in the platform. So I'm going to be focusing on which technologies we're going to move into, alliances. And as you said, partnerships are going to be key, because one of the issues with this industry has been capital efficiency. And a way you work through more capital efficient structures is through partnerships and sharing some of that capital footprint. So we're going to focus on that. And then of course, I've worked all over the world. I spent 6 years in China, I've worked in Europe, I've worked in Japan, and I think I can add a lot of value working with governments and their leaders on the policies and how Ford can help and how Ford's going to interface in those markets around the world.
Just real quick on China, is Ford still kind of focused on that? Is it more of a JV type situation?
Well, we've always had joint ventures in China. We have 2 joint ventures in China, one more commercial vehicles, one for passenger vehicles. They're really important partners for us. I love our strategy in China. It's capital light. We're profitable in China, we're exporting from China, we're growing from that market base. So we have a lot of possibilities in China, and I'm excited about the future there.
John, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. China, 2024, all that stuff going on right now.